Yes, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another live stream. Now, Arsenal have beaten Crystal Palace 5 goals to nil, and that is what we wanted. That is what all Arsenal fans wanted. We wanted to win, we wanted to score goals, and we wanted this team firing again. And I tell you, that is what we've done. That is what the team has gone and do. And I'm really happy. I'm really off the moon. I think I'm kind of still very skeptical about where we are going to go with this. And this is the reason as to why I've done this live stream. Are we now challenges again? Are we now able to challenge Man City and Liverpool again? Because whenever Arsenal have a good game, we go, well, we can challenge Manchester City and Liverpool. And to be honest, this season, half season, and last season, the whole season, we actually did it very well. We went toe to toe with Man City until they actually pulled out a last minute magical trick. We didn't know that. We didn't have that in our corner, and we actually lost out. This season, we are not far away of Liverpool. We are not far away of Manchester City. Our problem is scoring goals. Our problem has been, scoring goals. And we thought probably in January, Mikel Arteta and the rest of the team would go out and sign some strikers and sign some players that would facilitate this team into scoring more goals. But Mikel Arteta said, we love the players that are here. We trust the players that are here. And therefore, we are not signing anyone. We are not bringing in new strikers. In the same line, he has gone and scored 5 goals with the same quality of players we have, with the same players we have: Kai Havertz, Odegaard, Trossard, Jesus, Saka, and Gabriel Martinelli. So the question now becomes: are Arsenal back? Right? Are we now back on the right track? Because the right track is not winning one game and dropping a couple of points in the next games. The right track is making sure that as a team, you can go 5 games unbeaten, you can win 4 in a row, you can win 5 in a row. So according to what we have seen, can this team win 4 in a row? Can we go and beat Nottingham Forest now after beating Crystal Palace, and then we have we have a Liverpool ahead of us as well in the league. Can we go and win these games? By the time we get to play in the Europa League against FC Porto, will Arsenal be a much better side? That is what we are talking about. But of course, the victory, class, purely class, and we're going to talk about it because I think if you're Mikel Arteta, if you're an Arsenal fan right now, what you're feeling is the real feeling of a top team, a top level fan. Going out there, you're at home, Crystal Palace come at home, and you dismantle them, you destroy them. That is the factor this Arsenal team has been lacking, and we've talked about it before on the channel that we're not a bad side. We are not a bad side. We're not a side that cannot score goals. We're just a side that is not scoring goals. Gabriel Martinelli has talked about it in his press conference reaction, and he actually said that whatever is out there, that we people in the team know our quality. The players know their quality, and that is what we express today. We might have a few moments where we're not good enough. We might have a few moments where things are not going our way. But we know our quality as a team, and that is what you've just seen today. And I kind of agree. I don't think Arsenal have been the worst side in the Premier League. We're not a bad side. I think we're better than so many clubs in this league, apart from Liverpool and Man City. What we have failed to do in the previous games has been taking care of our chances and creating enough chances. Those are the two problems that we have seen with this Arsenal team. But in the Crystal Palace game, the key lesson in this game is that Arsenal can create decent chances and Arsenal can create big amount of chances in a single 90 minutes, right? Now, that whether that is courtesy of the Dubai tour, and Mikel Arteta talked to these players and he's told them, listen, you are good, right? You've had a break. Can you go back and prove all the doubters wrong, right? Is it a one-off? Is it a one-show game where, a team comes very motivated, very pumped up, and then in the next games we drop off? We are going to find out in the next 10 days when take on Nottingham Forest. But the important lesson here is that Mikel Arteta feels safer. He knows his team can score, and they've done it. He knows his team can create, and they've also done it. So the one thing we are waiting for, the one thing that Arsenal have to do, apart from uh, you know, scoring and creating. The other thing we need to do is to make sure that we defend well, and we have also done that in this game. So this is a perfect performance from the Premier League. This is a perfect performance for a Premier League side. You create good chances, you bury them, you defend well, and you govern the game. There is nothing better, in my opinion. Listen, there is nothing better, in my opinion, for a team that wants to win the title than those three things: governing the games and defending well, creating good chances in huge amounts, and barring those chances effectively. That is how Man City are stealing the title, right? You go back to last season and the last 15 games where they almost won every game. The truth is that they didn't win every game comfortably. They did beat Crystal Palace a goal to nil at the Sellers Park. It was a penalty. Olise steps onto Ilkay Gundogan. That game could have been a 0-0. That game could have been a scenario where Man City draw points. But it's the resilience, right? It's the resilience, it's the character, it is the ability to go on, it is that ability to want to go on. Do Arsenal have that now, right? Those three things that we've seen in this game: scoring, governing the game, and creating, those are good. Those almost guarantee you 80% the chance to win the title. But we had that last season. So what we don't have is the character. What we have not seen yet is the character, and that is going to be tested in the games to come. But so for me, I don't think Mikel Arteta needs to be looking at other lessons. Those are the 3 points, and those are the 3 areas that Arsenal have to strengthen every single day, every single game. Can we make sure that we are in possession more? Can we make sure that we're defending better? Can we make sure that we are creating better and more chances? And then can we finish off effectively? If we can do that, then we are tied to challenges again. I'm not saying we're going to win it. I think Liverpool and Man City do have an edge and they do have an advantage, especially Liverpool having almost 5 points ahead of Arsenal. If they drop points, that's Liverpool. If they drop points in the next game, well and good. That creates a very, very interesting scenario between us and them before we play them. But if they keep on winning and winning and winning, then it's going to take Arsenal's character more than our performances. So let's answer the question now. Let's answer the question now. Are we challengers again? I don't think this result actually communicates that deep. Arsenal could challenge us again. They are going to create all these, beautiful scenarios, and they're going to be unbeatable. I don't think that is what we get from this game, and I don't think that's what we learn from this game. What I actually think we learn from this game is we have the ability, right? We have the ability to do whatever we have failed to do. And Mikel talked about it in his pre-match press conference, and he said, we trust the players we have, and they have the ability to do it. They have done it before. You look at Martinelli, Odegaard, and Saka last season. They've done it before. They've scored some goals before. They've actually, created some good chances before. Martinelli scored 15, Saka 14, and Odegaard 15 last campaign. That is a group of players that is able. That's a group of players that has the ability to create the quality that you need as a team. And Mikel Arteta says he trusts them, and that is why he doesn't care who says what. He just got to improve on the players he has. He's got to improve on the quality of the players we have at the team. And I absolutely agree with him. I think he's really spot on. Absolutely spot on. So I won't be flattered, and I don't think we should get carried away and be flattered. I think the real point of this game and the real lesson in this game, we are able, right? I mean, you can take that in any direction. We are able to challenge, we are able to score goals, we are able to create chances, we are able to win games, but we are able, right? Crystal Palace are not an easy side. You don't actually walk over them. I mean, this season they've struggled a little bit, but they're still a decent side. Under Roy Hodgson, they can come and shock you. They can come and surprise you, right? Manchester United will tell you the story. So when you overpower Crystal Palace, it means that there are around 4 or 5 other clubs in the Premier League on your good day that you can overpower. They're 14th on the Premier League table. So that means that you can still overpower Burnley, Sheffield United, and Luton as well. You can still overpower a couple of other clubs. and that is what I wanted. When you drop points, or when you drop points against a team like Fulham, it means that you're really unsure. You're not as certain whether you can even beat the teams in the league in league with Fulham, the teams mid-table. And I don't really think that is where Arsenal are. I think we are really above that level. I think our level is 6 points against Crystal Palace, 6 points against Fulham, 6 points against all these other sides that we are we are going to face. The only teams that we should be concerned about, top 10, 10 to 1. Those are the teams that I think Arsenal should be really concerned about. But below top 10, we've got to pick up those points, and we've got to pick them nice and early, and that's what we've done. So one of the other things that I saw in this game, and I wanted to actually appreciate the team for, we might not look at this as a very important point, but winning games at halftime, that is going to be key for us in the last 17 games of the campaign. It's going to be very key. If we are tied to challenges again, and if you want to be tied to challenges again, the key part and the one thing we've got to do very well is to win games comfortably and early, especially games at the Emirates Stadium, especially games that everyone tips us to win. Like, for example, Fulham come at the Emirates Stadium. You've got to win that by halftime, 2 goals to nil or 3 goals to nil, and you have actually buried it. So this game is that performance is full of ingredients. And I know Mikel Arteta is looking at it there and is going, we have actually done well. We've actually done well. We've established ourselves as a team that is ready to go again, right? We've established ourselves as a team that is ready to compete, because the ingredients and all the positive signs in this game, that's what they speak to. They speak to a team that can, do these things correctly, and we can compete with anyone if we can repeat, if we can do the things on repeat. That's what Mancity do. That's what Liverpool are doing. They're doing all the right things on repeat. And for Arsenal, somehow we are failing to consistently deliver that level of quality. So one thing I've loved about Liverpool this season, they're not the best team, by the way, in the Premier League. Not defensively, not in midfield, and not even in attack. They do have Mo Salah, who has been, producing massive numbers over the years. But when you take Mo Salah out of the picture, they're not a side that, proclaim to be the best in the league. But what they have done, they have had the discipline to do things on a more consistent basis. That is the one thing Arsenal failed to do. And that is the one thing that, we have to continue doing positively and consistently. Can we do these things on repeat? Can we, if we're beating Crystal Palace 5 goals to nil, I don't expect us to beat Nottingham Forest 5 goals to nil at the City ground. But can we go there and win 3 goals to nil? Can we go there and put in the same performance? Because the one question we've all been asking, how did we go from a very good Brighton performance to a mediocre kind of performance against West Ham, and then to a very poor Fulham performance, and then to a very good Liverpool performance, but then we didn't win? So what that highlights is lack of consistency. What that highlights is that Arsenal are not consistent in our actions and in our footsteps and what we're trying to do in order to be either champions or to be a top team, right? Mikel says he wants us to be the best in the world. For you to be the best in the world, Barcelona have been the best in the world, Bayern have been the best in the world, Man United have ever been the best in the world, and Man City are the best in the world right now. For you to be the best in the world, there are a couple of things that you've got to do. One, you've got to be consistent, very, very consistent with your actions. You've got to be consistent with what you're doing, and you've got to be consistent with what you believe in. So our values are free-flowing football, which we had actually abandoned, entertaining football, which we had actually abandoned, and football that allows the team to progress quicker and score more goals. We had abandoned that this season, and we found a problem. We found a massive problem, to an extent that teams had started treating us like a mediocre team, right? Teams come, they give us a good performance, they give us a goal, and walk away with the point, and walk away with 3 points. So it's the consistency that we have actually been lacking. So from this Crystal Palace game, the fixtures don't get easier, by the way. Man City is still to come, Chelsea is still to come, Liverpool is still to come, and a couple of other games as well. But can we reproduce this quality? Can we deliver this quality? So after this, we go to the City ground to play Nottingham Forest. That will be on Tuesday, and then we'll play Liverpool at the Emirates Stadium on 4th February. Then we'll take on West Ham, we'll take on Burnley, and we'll take on FC Porto. So the next four games, I'm going to tell you this: the next four games, Arsenal need to collect maximum points. We are talking about a Liverpool that will not have a Salah and will not have, a Dominic Soboslai as well. I think Trent also is, injured. I mean, it will depend, and also it will depend because Salah is looking likely that he might drop out of the AFCON, right? So if Salah drops out of AFCON, then that is actually bad news for Arsenal. But regardless, listen, regardless of what happens, Arsenal still have the minerals to go and beat Liverpool at our own ground because we have seen it. We have played better than them in the FA Cup, and Jurgen Klopp and his boys were lucky to walk away with the point. So can we consistently generate this quality? Can we consistently say we will beat Nottingham Forest with the same quality? We will beat Liverpool with the same quality. We'll beat West Ham with the same quality, and then we'll beat Burnley with the same quality. Because if we win those four games, and we make it 5 out of 5, I'm giving you my word. By the time we finish playing Burnley, Arsenal will be back in the top 2 if we win the next 4 games. That is the nature of the Premier League, and that's why it is a marathon. Like I said, it doesn't get better. I mean, it doesn't get easier. It gets harder. Then you have FC Porto, then you have Newcastle, then you have the likes of Sheffield, Brentford, FC Porto again, and the likes of Chelsea. So if we are going to do anything this season, if we are going to challenge this campaign, this is the time. We better do it now. Like there is no any other time. Again, Clyde says we're always been challenges. 2 defeats didn't change that. Trigona says pick up Cossy. I'm happy he started Trossard as well. Julius says, but we need a number 9. And Tochi says, I think we are good at creating those chances, but we need a striker to actually bury them. So Gabriel Jesus didn't score today again. And is that going to stand in our way for being, as challenges? Is that going to stand in our way? Is that going to be the difference between Liverpool and Arsenal? There is a possibility. There is a big possibility that is going to be a difference. There's a big possibility that's going to be a decider. And not because Liverpool, because for Liverpool right now, they have to pray that Salah's injury is not serious. That is number one. And they also have to pray that they go through this period without Mo Salah still on the right track, right? So Liverpool are scoring goals, but they're firing from different cylinders as well. Salah scores, Jota scores, Gakpo scores, and then Nunes scores as well. But you still cannot compare them to us because Gakpo is more like a number 9. I don't think he's a number 9, but when you look at how he plays, he's more like a number 9. Then Darwin Nunes is a number 9. Jota is a number 9, and Salah is a freak. He's a forward. He does everything apart from I don't know what he doesn't do, right? So the goal scoring, we either find a solution, which is one of them, what we have seen today. Arsenal finding goals in different parts of the pitch, from different parts of the pitch. Trossard, defense, midfield, and attack. Because we've scored 5, and our striker was not close to scoring. I mean, that is that's worrying, right? That's worrying. If we were to win this game by a single goal to nil, who would score that goal? It should be your striker. It should be your striker. Should be the person that the team looks onto, the team looks up to provide the goals. He must be the person that we all look up to. And Gabriel Jesus again today, not a bad performance at all. And that's what Mikel Arteta, I think, always looks at. Not a bad performance, to be honest, but not anywhere close to scoring. Not anywhere close to, giving us a goal. Is that a good sign? For me, no. It is actually not a good sign. I don't think anyone or any team should actually be counting themselves as challengers with a striker who is very, very susceptible to missing chances rather than barring them. Right, but I think Mikel is very sure, is super sure he can find a solution around our lack of goals from our number nine, and he's very, very, very confident about it because he says uh, Gabriel Jesus doesn't really need to score. What we need to do is to make sure that everyone carries the responsibility. Defensively, I think we defend well because it's everyone's responsibility. In midfield, I think we govern the ball well because we fight for it and everyone fights for the ball. So maybe Nikel thinks that the goal scoring as well should be shared across across the pitch rather than one number nine. But there are those games where your number nine has to deliver. Like you can't tell me in the highest scoring fixtures we have played this season, our number nine is not scoring goals. Like Eddie Nketiah has a hat trick. That is how bad it is for me for Gabriel Jesus. Eddie has a hat trick this season. So Eddie, who is second, and at times Mikel Arteta doesn't even call upon Eddie when we need when we need a striker. When Gabriel Jesus is injured, at times doesn't come onto the pitch. If he has a hat trick this season, and Gabriel Jesus is playing in games where we're scoring 5, we're scoring 4, and he's not on the score sheet, and he's not even close to getting onto the score sheet. It is worrying. It is definitely worrying for me, right? But I think, listen, we can't find a solution. Last season, we did it with Gabriel Jesus out, injured. We scored a couple of goals, and even when he come back, we were still scoring goals. Right? We were still sharing them. Trossard had a very good impact. It's about these players stepping up. If all these players can step up their performances, can they step up their level at which they're performing? If they can do that, then we can bypass that deficiency of Gabriel Jesus. The good thing is that the rest of the team is functioning well. I love the way Kai Havertz is now playing in that midfield. I like the way Odegaard is playing in the midfield, and I like the way Saka played today. Not just hugging the touchline, but at times coming a little bit narrower and creating problems and receiving the ball on that half turn. It's very, very good. It's very important. So the goal problem, yes, we've scored 5. I think it is still there, right? I still think it's there. Why? Because we scored our last 2 goals in injury time. It was Gabriel Martinelli who scored those 2 goals. Very beautiful, but are these goals, can we reproduce these goals in every single game? I think we can reproduce them in many of the games that we play this campaign. I think we can score these goals, the same type of goals against Brighton, against Brentford, against Fulham, and even against Liverpool. I mean, because Liverpool at times play that kind of a higher line, so you can exploit them. So that's the good thing. The goals we have scored today are replicable, so they're not going to go away. But when you take away those 2 headers from Gabriel Jesus, which are not going to come which are not going to come every game, then it leaves you with 3 or 4 reliable goals that you expect your team to be scoring on every match day. The 2 Gabriel Martinelli goals and the 2 Leandro Trossard chances that he got in the middle of the penalty area, and he didn't actually bury one of them. He buried one of them, and he didn't bury the other. Right? So, probably that. So the goal scoring problem, Mikel still has to tell these players, we're not expecting goals from anywhere else. We're not expecting goals from one player. We're expecting goals from all of you across the pitch. If you can give us this quality every single day, every single week, we're going to be a much better side. Coco says we really need a number 9. We lack a typical striker. And I've seen a couple of chances that have been thrown into the penalty area, and we actually didn't take them. Now, it's either we didn't take them because, clubs miss chances. Every club misses chances. Or we didn't take them because we don't have a number 9. I still think if we had a number 9, this game would have been like 5 goals with 2 goals from your number 9. I still think there are chances that we didn't exploit. There are runs that Saka was making, there are runs that Gabriel Martinelli was making, and was literally putting that ball into the middle of the penalty area. And no one is there to tap it in. That's why you need the number 9. That's why you need a striker. Or maybe what Mikel Arteta can do, he can adapt one of the players we have to actually take on that role. Just take on that role of when Martinelli is wide and Saka is wide, can you crawl slowly into the penalty area and become that number 9? I think Kai Havertz can do that if Mikel really gave him the instructions. I don't know whether that is what has been instructed to do, and he's not done it. But Gabriel Jesus clearly is not interested. He's not interested in being handicapped. He's not interested in being, closed off. He wants to have his freedom. He wants to have his liberty. So will we sign a striker in January? Probably not. Probably in the summer. And does that mean that we shouldn't compete? In my opinion, after spending 200 million, we should be able to compete every single season, starting with this one. The FA Cup is gone. The Carabao Cup is gone. That leaves us with bigger fish to fry. Champions League and the Premier League, right? That only leaves us with bigger fish to fry. So hit the like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Are we challenges again? Big question there. For you to think about. We'll be doing more of these live streams. I see you right in the next one.